Today I am going to take you through how to fill the observation checklist for the subject. The observation checklist, still you get it from the portal, which you go to continuous assessment and then go to observation checklist. Now under type you click the drop down arrow and select subject, then put the class you're picking for, the term, and then the subject. I am going to use ICT. So this is the subject, and when you click the subject, automatically loads. It has also this instruction, the class and the term. Then it has this which need to be filled for every learner. So that means these copies should be printed enough for every learner, and this particulars printed on the center number or CA. For a school that does not have center number, UNEB will give you continuous assessment number to use, the year, the learner's name, and the learner's ID, which is very key because this will be used to track the learner's record. Even if a learner transfers from one school to another, using the learner's ID, which is unique, they can track and still get his or her scores and put them together. So the instruction is that this observation checklist contains one competence which must be assessed by the end of this term. So this you must make sure by the time this term 2 ends, this should have been completed and then filled, and the UNEB gives circulars when to submit to the portal, which is mostly termly. So every term you do need to fill this and also put in the AMIS and then submit it to UNEB. Please tick against the indicators the learner, the indicator or indicators the learner has exhibited at every level assessed. That one we shall demonstrate. Record the number of indicators observed, we shall also demonstrate. And NA if the learner has not been assessed for a particular level. So if you decided to ignore one level like level 1 imitation, you put NA if the learner has been assessed, not been assessed. It can be the learner did not show anything or the learner was absent. So you can put NA in the box, as we shall see. The theme is always given by UNEB, like you have seen here, the observation checklist. You don't edit anything. You cannot also fill it in soft copy. It is in PDF form, so you only print and then you use it the way it is. So the theme is determined by UNEB. The topic, you may realize that in some subjects there could be more than one topic, but UNEB will select one topic, so that is the one you use for scoring the learner for the observation checklist. So it is dictated by UNEB, the learning outcome, the subject competence, generic skills. Now the learning domain here is psychomotor. This is very important to note, especially for those who attended the training for UNEB. This is very important, the psychomotor. Now under psychomotor, the first level is imitation. That means the learner is seeing what you're doing and then also repeating it. So these 4 options here, actually 5. This one identifies, locate the tools, follow instruction, correct error, selection, and customize. It is repeated for all the levels, but it depends on the level, as we are going to see. Imitation is the learner is doing what you're doing. For example, tell the learner enter data, the learner will enter data, or will see you enter data and also enter data. You tell the learner highlight and bold, will also highlight and bold. So the learner is following, imitating what you're doing. So at this stage, you will be scoring the learner in this manner. You give activities. For example, you're entering data, you have also given the learner a sheet of paper to enter data. So in the process, you look at each learner and can the learner identify or locate the tools? If yes, tick this. If cannot identify, moreover, you have demonstrated and is supposed to imitate you at this level. So can he imitate and locate the tools? If yes, tick this. Then next is follows correct syntax or format of the function tools while processing data. If the learner can follow the correct syntax, because you can write one thing on the board and then the learner writes a different thing. So it is possible even at imitation for the learner not to have this. But it is also possible for the learner to have this correctly, because remember at this level they're just following what you're doing. Then corrects errors obtained while using this. Remember some errors like this. When you enter data and it is not fitting, you see this. And when you are demonstrating for the learner, you show him or her how to remove this. So it depends on him whether he can imitate what you did. So if yes, then you can select this. Select the right paragraph while presenting data. If the learner can do that, then you give this. Customize the tools and changes. For example, changing the color. If the learner can do that and did, you click that, you tick that. If cannot, then you do not. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the learner got all under SC, which is subject score, you put here 5. If you got 4, put 4. If 2, 2, but the highest is 5. Then the next box is for generic skills, which are also put here. In the process of the learner doing that, can the learner use numbers and measurements accurately under imitation level? If yes, you do this. If you tick this. If no, you leave. Interpret and interrogate mathematical data. For example, there is unit price and then there is quantity. How can the learner get the amount? He's supposed to interpret those mathematical data before he uses the formulas of Excel. So if the learner can do that, you can tick this. Then you look at this, uses mathematics to justify support decision, this and this. Accordingly, you tick them. After ticking, they are total 5. If the learner got all under generic skills, you put the 5. If he did not, then you count how many he has got and put here. And we also say that if you do not tick here for any reason, say the learner is absent or so on, you put here NA. Then we continue. And then while filling in the AMIS, we shall also record it accordingly. So when it comes to manipulation here, the first one, the learner is repeating what you're doing. Whereas when it comes to manipulation here, you give the learner instructions. For example, you print a Excel sheet and then with the instructions to follow. And then you look at the learner still in the same areas and you're ticking based on what the learner can do. For if you have given him instructions with, now here we have instruction, and then you want to, here you're giving him minimal supervision, but he has the instructions. Can he identify or locate the tools? If yes, tick this. Can he follow the correct syntax? If yes, tick this. Can he correct errors? Can he select this? Can he customize the tools? For example, changing colors, etc. So you tick accordingly. After you come under SC, count the ticks and put it here. Then generic skills, after filling, you also count the ticks and put it here. When it comes to precision, now here, using advanced tools and features of Excel to process and present data independently. Here now, you are not giving support. The learner is doing it independently. This is like kind of exercise. You want to see what he can achieve. So in the process, you're going to look at, can he still identify and locate the tools? It is possible that when you gave him instruction and you are supporting him, he could identify tools. How about independently? So you look at that. If he can still identify the tools, that's good, you tick this. If he cannot, then you cross. You can even leave it blank. After all, you won't count. Then, can the learner correct errors? For example, like this. Now is working independently. If yes, tick this. If no, do not. And then you count the scores, put here, generic skills, put here. And then we come to articulation. So under articulation here, so the learner is supposed to use the advanced tool and features accurately and correctly and innovatively. So here you're also looking at the innovation the learner is putting into play. For example, you have data like this the learner is working with. Their innovation others can have like this, but another can go ahead and highlight this and then come here and probably know that this is a heading. Let me give it a different background color like that. Now that is creativity or innovation somebody is putting. So you're going to identify those innovations and creativities and see, and in the process you're scoring them basing on these instructions here, basing on these options given. So after scoring there, you're also going to put here and put here, and then you go to neutralization, where using advanced tools and features of spreadsheet to process and present data with ease, and then you score in the same respect here, the same option. After doing that, now you go to the portal and you're going to fill them accordingly. Let's go to the first and see. The first one, under level 1, you're having this SC, which is subject score and generic skills for level 1. So when you go to the portal, you come to continuous assessment and then subject achievement, and then you fill these particulars accordingly. School, it will automatically bring senior 3, remember the term and remember the subject ICT, and then the names will come here. You're also going to fill accordingly. Level 1 has subject and generic skills. You fill accordingly, but not beyond the level provided. So if I look at here, there were 5 here and 1, 2, 3, also 5 here. So the highest mark is 5, the highest score is 5 also. So under level 1 indicators, you pick this and put them accordingly under subject and generic skills. Also under level 2, you do the same. You go to level 2. Level 2 is here, and then you also check what you put here and what you put here, and also come and fill under level 2 here subject and generic skills. Then level 3, level 4, level 5. If a learner dropped or transferred or suspended, you use one of these accordingly. And if the learner is deceased and you're very sure, you use deceased. Everything here in this line will be inactive. Like when I press this, you look at that is deceased and everything is not active. You can't even add any marks or even remove any marks which is there. That is just closed. And that's why for deceased you should be very careful when to use. You just use when you're very sure the learner is deceased. Others, you can also find out the transfer, the dropout. You first find out if he has just dropped out or went to another school and put accordingly. When you said transferred, the learner's marks until be got from the new school and then the old school and being combined. So that's how you can fill the subject checklist. If you like this video, please subscribe for more interesting videos like this.